Minnesota at Iowa. Zach, do you like playing for the pig? You like the pig,
I
the
love
Floyd
the
of
pig.
Rosedale?
I love the pig because I love bacon. So yes.
Well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like this trophy a lot, and I think this is one of
Mhm.
the great rivalries of the Big Ten. So,
Yeah.
very excited for this game. I think this is the best game in the Big Ten this week. You think of the rivalry aspect of it. You think
Mhm.
both teams here are 5-2. I mean, we talk about Illinois and Washington being a playoff type of game. Minnesota, Iowa, playoff type of game. I think they have harder schedules than Illinois, so I would take Illinois there a little bit with it being there at the end. But I think definitely that this is going to be a good one. There we go. Michael, I'm one of the six. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Helping us out.
Thank you, Dad.
He really did go to
Appreciate
his
it.
phone. He's sent a chat message and
Hey.
everything. So Dave says it's bacon weekend. Love it, Dave. Love it. Well, Zach, I will ask your thoughts on the trophy first, and then give me the trophy, the rivalry. Give me your thoughts on that, and then give me your question.
I mean, it is. I still think the axe is the best, but in terms of Iowa's rivalries this year,
You're saying the best trophy or the best rivalry?
the best trophy. It's a
Yeah,
freaking axe.
yeah. It's a
Like,
really cool trophy. Yeah.
yeah, like, and no offense to Iowa fans, but you're not playing for an axe, but you are playing for
But you
something that you
are
could kill with an axe.
There you go. As I say, but you are playing for bacon.
So if Iowa or if Minnesota wins both, that would be ideal just so they can slaughter the pig. But my question is really, can Minnesota's defense force Iowa and Mark Gronowski into mistakes? That's my big question because I think if Iowa plays like ahead of the chains and they're able to get 3-4 yards the way they typically do, the way they push the pile, they get push on the offensive line. I think it's going to be really hard for Minnesota. The way Minnesota beat Nebraska was they caused a lot of pressure. They were able to control the line of scrimmage. I am a little
They played Iowa
concerned.
ball. They played
Yeah,
Iowa ball with better passing attack.
yeah. I'm concerned. As good as Minnesota's offense, like Drake Lindsey, I think is a future star. Like I think he's already a star. I think he could be a future superstar in the Big Ten as a quarterback. I just am concerned that it's not going to matter because unless if Minnesota's defense can find ways to put Gronowski in tough situations.
Hmm. Yeah, good thoughts there. I think that Gronowski is a big key of this game. I think overall the key is just the running game though for Iowa
Yeah.
and how that's going to work out. I do think it's interesting with Mark Gronowski having the knee injury, not as much mobility, but he seems to be running just fine anyway. My question is, what can Minnesota do to stop Mark Gronowski from running on them? And I really extend that to just really the entire Iowa team because it really is just a whole team effort at this point for running and rushing on the other team away from them. So, Zach, I have a interesting comparison here. Are you ready for it?
Go for it.
Mark Gronowski is the first Big Ten quarterback to have 10 rushing touchdowns coming into week 9 since. Are you ready for this?
Oh, Braxton Miller.
No. Adrian Martinez in 2021.
No.
Yep. He was the last Big Ten
Wow.
quarterback to have 10 rushing touchdowns entering week 9 in a season.
That my
So I'm
brain
sure
is just
I'm sure Iowa fans and Nebraska fans just love that I made that comparison.
click off. Anyway,
No, I even though Gronowski, he has less than 300 yards rushing on the season, he has just been the situational runner for this team that has
yeah.
done such a good job of picking up first downs, getting touchdowns. Right now, he's tied among quarterbacks in the Big Ten with rushing first downs. Damon Williams and him are the two ones there. Damon Williams, obviously, another guy with a little bit of a different running style than Mark Gronowski, but Mark Gronowski is going to, fight, get those yards every single time. The most rushing yards of the season against Minnesota happened, or Minnesota faced Purdue. Sorry, Minnesota faced Purdue, and Ryan Brown had his most rushing yards of the season against Minnesota. But the issue was what? He threw two interceptions in that game.
Mhm.
So I think what you're talking about with turnovers and everything else is very apt in this game. Also, when you consider that Mark Gronowski has had one interception thrown in each of the past 3 games.
Yep.
So Minnesota's going to need to stop Iowa's many rushing weapons, and they're going to need to figure out a way to attack this offensive line because, yes, Minnesota did a great job against the Nebraska offensive line, but the Nebraska offensive line is, Alvin and the Chipmunks compared to, what this what this Iowa offensive line is. And Iowa is trending to possibly be the best offensive line in the country, and it's going to be very, very hard for Minnesota to be able to defeat them.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
All right, what's your score prediction?
I think Washington, or not Washington. I think Minnesota has gotten a lot better from week 1 to now, which makes a lot of sense. But I think based on what we've talked about, remember a year ago, Minnesota, I think, had a lead at halftime. They looked like they were ready to win this game, and then Iowa ran away with it. Obviously, Caleb Johnson had a big part in that. But I mean, they won by multiple scores in Minnesota. Now you've got a 3:30 kick at Iowa. It's going to end. I think it'll end in the evening, right? Like lights will be coming down, so like it'll be a raucous environment. I don't love this matchup for Minnesota, and I really don't love that it's in Iowa or in Kinnick. So I've got 27-17 Iowa.
Mm, what's that? Is that yeah? You're taking the over then in that one. So
Yeah.
Iowa to cover, taking the over. This did get moved to 8.5, so over a touchdown in this one, which is kind of telling to me. Obviously, 7.5 would be over a touchdown as well, but it's telling to me that this 1 point line movement here kind of means a lot. The over under still set at 38.5. I'm going to take the under though. I think that both of these two teams, Minnesota has the better offense, but I don't think that Minnesota is going. I say they have the better offense. They have the better passing attack. Iowa has the much better running attack, but Minnesota has the much better passing attack, right? So it kind of comes down to which defense is going to be more, apt to stop what the other offense is good at. And in all my years, Kirk Ferentz has done a better job of getting his team to stop Iowa than Minnesota has to his team to stop Minnesota than Minnesota has to stop Iowa. PJ Fleck beats Nebraska like nobody's business. Iowa, unfortunately for Minnesota fans, beats Minnesota like nobody's business. So I think PJ
Yep.
Fleck has one win against Kirk Ferentz in his career, and I don't think I see that changing
Yep.
this game. I have
I
Iowa
agree.
winning 17-10, but I will say if Drake Lindsey does show out and just have one of those games, right? I've been giving him high grades. He hasn't had the biggest yards or the most touchdowns, but if he comes out in this one, man, and has like 2 touchdown passes, over 250 yards passing, I don't think that's going to happen against Iowa's defense. But if it does, this is a game that Minnesota can very likely win if that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, I know it may not seem like it from my score. I thought about picking Minnesota in this game.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, but I just think I I I got to give Iowa props. I know I'm known as the Kirk Ferentz hater and the Iowa hater of the two of us, but they came back to win that game against Penn State, who looked rejuvenated. Real props for Gronowski for toughing it out. And here's something that we should keep our eyes on. I know we kind of wrote Iowa off for the playoff, but if Iowa beats Minnesota, they get a bye, and then they get Oregon at home, at USC, Michigan State, at Nebraska. I think there is a chance. I mean, it's slight. There is a chance though where they go 10-2, upset
Yeah.
Oregon.
I mean, there's a chance, and they're good enough to do it, right? Like there's a
Yeah.
chance, and they're good enough to do it. But I just don't think it's likely enough. Like
I don't think it's likely, but I with that offensive line and that defensive line,
now,
they're
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
well, the offensive line, defensive line, and the fact that Oregon has to come to Kinnick.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, if it's almost like if they weren't home games, you could kind of argue this a little bit. But even if Iowa loses 3 games and they go 9-3, which is what I've been saying this whole time, they're gonna go either 7-5 to 9-3, somewhere in that range. Um, then this team is going to they should be considered for the playoffs if that
Mhm.
happens, but they won't be because nobody will say they have an impressive win. And Penn State could have been that impressive win, but and Penn State's still a talented team. They just don't
Yep.
have anything impressive they've done this season. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Perception's gonna kill him.
Yeah, but that's so hard. I mean, you're going at USC, at Nebraska. Yes, you get Iowa at home, but that's just such a tough end of the schedule there for
You
them.
mean Oregon at home?
Yeah, or sorry, Oregon at home. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.